Chapter 3 and 6 through 10.
You trust your Bible?
I'm sorry.
That's Baptist anyway.
We're going to trust you, brother. That is right.
Genesis chapter 3 and 6 and 10. The Bible says, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to arise and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them were both open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in thy garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. Before the fall of man, we all know the story of Genesis. Before the fall of man, we know that Adam and Eve walked with God in the cool of the day. They would have conversations, they would talk, and they would get along with one another and then go about their business. But when the serpent come along and beguiled Eve, and Adam and them partook of the fruit, that knocked that communication line down, so to speak. Everybody's heard the Verizon commercial, can you hear me now? But what got me was, God asked Adam, where art thou? And that was not for God to say that he didn't know where Adam and Eve was at. That was for Adam and Eve to acknowledge where they were at, right? So, one of the greatest needs in not only the church and not only in our home is to have a genuine, open line of communication.
Amen.
God created Adam and gave Adam the gift of language so that he could communicate with God. And in the book of Genesis, as I felt, Adam and Eve failed, and the communication that they had with God was suffered and was broken. And his social status with God, so to speak, was ruined, and man began to suffer. You're a miserable Christian today if you don't spend alone time with God and talk with God.
Mm-hmm.
Just as Brother Tommy talked about last night, you need to have that private time with God.
Yes.
There's only so much that a preacher and a teacher can give you in the little bit of time that he has with you during the week. But you've got the rest of the day and the rest of the week to spend all the personal time you want with God if you just allow it to be that way.
Right.
And instead of being open to God about it, this is what most Baptists do. Man's intentions from that time has never been to run to God.
That's
It's
right.
always been to run
Away
from God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only affected our churches, and it's affected our homes. So this is my simple thought. Why can't we communicate? Why can't we communicate? Communication, if you look up the word communication, it means an act or an instance of transmitting a verbal or written message. But there are some things that can hinder your communications. And the first thing I want to deal with is something that we all have a problem with, and that is anger. Anger. Anger in the book of Ephesians 4:26 says, Be ye angry and sin not, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Paul said there's nothing wrong with being angry as long as it's for a righteous cause. But anger can be harsh and it can be used for good. But Paul is saying be angry, but don't miss the mark of what you're being angry about. You better have a good reason that you're angry and not just being angry to be angry. And you know what a lot of us have a problem with doing? Controlling our anger.
Mm-hmm.
Controlling our anger.
Yes, we do.
Anger that goes unconfessed and uncontrolled blocks communication. The quicker anger is resolved, the quicker communication can be restored. But you know what most of us do and we have a problem with? Is we like to harbor and we like to nurse.
Yes, amen. A to the man.
Like food.
Festers.
We just fed our body some nutrient food, if you want to call it. But there are times that we get anger in our lives, and instead of trying to get rid of that thing and getting away from it, we like to nurse it like a little baby. And then when you feed it, guess what? It gets out of control. Paul says it's better that you deal with this on a daily basis before the sun goes down because it can grieve the Holy Ghost. What does the Bible say, Brother Tommy? If a married couple has a problem with one another, it'll hinder your prayer life. We got revival getting ready to start up in the next few weeks. And Brother Tommy has asked some of the men before revival comes, before Brett Carr comes, to have prayer meetings. And if there's anger, if there's one of them issues of anger in your heart, and Brett Carr can come in and have a great message, and we go 2-3 weeks revival, that'd be fine with me. But if you got anger harbored up in here, it doesn't matter what Brett Carr says, it doesn't matter what the song we sing. It's not going to mean anything. If you look in Ecclesiastes 7:9, it says, be not hasty. Do you know what the word hasty means in the Greek? It means to be anxiously, to be alarmed, or to be agitated. That's what that word means. In the spirit, to be angry from anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Solomon was pretty much saying that it's like a fire. And what happens when you keep fire harbored on you? It will leave a mark on you. Yeah. It will burn you. Not only anger, I think number 2, and I had a hard time when I was putting this together, resentment. Resentment. Resentment is a feeling of an indignant displeasure or a persistent ill will at something regarded as wrong or insulting or injurious to you. Resentment creates the equivalent of an emotional rug burn. What's the old saying? You've been rubbed the wrong way?
Yeah.
You've been rubbed the wrong way. Resentment is an emotional response that we feel towards some sort of perceived wound or slight when we do not feel that we have been, our way has been righted because we've been done wrong. If anybody had any reason to have resentment and anger toward us, it was Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Resentment is best described like this, Brother Steve. It's like rust. And we can drive over bridges and pass cars, and you know what? Eventually, when that rust starts showing up, it'll give you telltale signs that it's starting to show. You can put a happy face on, you can shake the preacher's hand, you can say amen, but deep down in your heart, and way deep down in that dark part of your heart, God knows there's some anger and there's some resentment, and that's blocking communication talking to God. When anger is out of control, resentment is not far behind.
Yeah. That's
They're like
true.
2 Siamese twins. Proverbs says this in 29:11, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it until afterwards. You know what that word utter means? And we've all done this, Sister Debbie. We have vented. We have all called somebody invented.
Yes.
And I am not throwing stones at anybody by no reason at all. We've all done it. We've all called somebody and said, I need to get this off my chest. And Solomon was saying, it's better to be wise about it. Keep it to yourself. Keep it private and talk to God about it. You know what most Baptists do? We love to air out dirty laundry instead of keeping that thing private. And with the ones that has and the ones that you need to get it right with, you want to blurt it out to everybody. We all guilty of doing it. All of us are. So you have anger and you have resentment. As I said, the word uttereth means to vent. And ultimately, we may appear structurally sound, but that pride that swells up in your heart will keep you from going to that person or just going and getting right with God, just as pride held Adam and Eve back from just being honest with God and saying they messed up. That resentment and anger will build up in you, and it will cause you to have blocked communication with God. So now I want you to look at how communication fails. In Mark chapter 6, verse 19, therefore Herodias had a quarrel against him. We all know who Herodias is. He's the one that had John the Baptist put in prison. And would have killed him, but she could not. Now that word quarrel means what most Baptists have had before in their life, or going to go through it again, or getting out of one, and that is called a grudge. This woman had so much of a grudge against John because John was just pointing out her sin and in what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not careful, grudge will lead to resentment, it will lead to hatred, and it will eventually even lead to murder. I'm not talking about maybe physically. I'm talking about spiritually murdering your brother or sister in Christ.
That's good, brother.
All of us at one point or another in our lives have been wrong. Who's ever been done wrong? Everybody's been done wrong. And if you ain't, mark her down, it'll happen eventually.
Yep.
And we've all been let down. Who's been let down? Raise your hand. Who's been betrayed? Raise your hand. Who's been disappointed? Raise your hand. Who's been who has said, well, I'm right, and they just need to get right with God, and they come get right with me. Who's ever said that? But you know what we'll do? We'll go do wrong, and that person's done wrong. But what's the old saying? Two
Wrongs don't make a right. That's right.
Two wrongs don't make a right. Joseph had a huge opportunity when he was over all of Egypt. Joseph had a huge opportunity to put his brothers through the ringer. His brothers lied about him, put him in slavery. And now Joseph is in power. But yet instead of Joseph getting back at them for what they had done wrong to him, and he had every right to do it, he not only blessed them, but he blessed their families.
Yeah.
Joseph, as we all know, if you study the Bible, Joseph is a typology of Christ.
Right.
Joseph didn't give his brothers what they deserved, but he gave them grace.
Right.
Same way with Jesus. Jesus didn't give us what we deserve, he gave us grace.
Amen.
Amen. No person is able to bear the weight of yesterday's resentment and tomorrow's problems at the same time.
That's right.
We are not strong enough to shoulder the problems of tomorrow or shoulder the resentment of yesterday.
That's good.
Don't bring tomorrow's problems into today because you may not be here tomorrow. Right? It'll be such a big load that you'll never be able to carry. And don't carry yesterday's resentment into today because, as I said before, you'll never be able to handle that situation. You know why God doesn't keep people under conviction so long? You know why He does it in seasons? Because if He stayed on you all the time and convicted you, He would kill you.
Yeah. That's good.
Because when I was under conviction, I couldn't function, Miss Debbie. Nothing was right. I just couldn't do nothing right. So how are we going to reestablish communication? Whether you or the one has had a grievance or the one who has caused your partner to have a grievance, it's your move to initiate the process of reconciliation. Adam should have made the process and grabbed his wife by the hand and said, honey, we've done wrong, but the best place for us to do is not to hide, but to go to God. Sometimes we have to swallow that pride and admit we're wrong, and that if we've done something wrong to somebody, there's nothing wrong with going to somebody and saying those two little words that we all hate to say, I'm sorry. I had to say it. You'll have to say it. Because when anger is uncontrolled, people attack others with the words that will tear them apart. And such speech complicates problems rather than solves problems.
Yeah.
James was telling me a story of the guy that he's been coming down the house and he's been playing, and he come down yesterday. He said something and it bothered me that I believe no mother ought to say to their child, is that I wish I'd aborted you.
Oh my.
And no matter how many times she asks for forgiveness, he's supposed to forgive her, but he'll never forgive her.
No, sir.
That's like every time that people put something on Facebook, and you hit that enter button,
Come on.
you can go back and edit it, delete it, do all that you want to.
It's there.
But by the time you've done that, there's probably 100 or more. It's probably
Come
already
on, brother.
copied and pasted. Ephesians 4:29 says, let no corruption communication proceed out of your mouth. And I was reading the John Phillips commentary. He also added in the inclination to not even do it intentionally, or not even to do it in one accord. But that which is good is to be used to edify, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. You know what the word corrupt means? It means rotten. It means obnoxious. It's like rotting fruit. It's a decaying fish. And whether we think it or not, sometimes the words that we speak will cut you to the bone.
Yes, sir.
It hurt. So what are 4 things you're going to have to do to help you get communication? Number 1, you're going to have to listen more and speak less. That's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
That's good right there.
Easier said than done. I'm not up here saying that I've got this down pat by no means, because I got a big mouth. Amen. Sometimes we need to sit back. Always a deacon short. Sometimes we need to sit back. And when a person is talking to you, if they have a problem with you or they felt like they've been done wrong by you, listen to what they have to say first before you jump the gun. Okay? Number 2, ask God for wisdom in response to critical times of communication. That not only goes for Brother Tommy and the deacons, but that goes for everybody in this church. From the one that goes to the nursery to the one that's down here. Number 3, when you have made communication mistake, whether it was of what you have said or misunderstood what you have heard, take responsibility. Take responsibility. Don't act as if it isn't important. And make sure that you are able to communicate with those people that you deal with on a regular basis. Take responsibility for it. Be accountable for it. If you have messed up, if I have said anything to Matt or done anything to Matt, I should be a grown-up and responsible enough man to come to you and say, I'm sorry, let's get this thing fixed, move on and go on. That's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to fuss and fight and argue. We can disagree. There's not a sin with disagreeing. It's not a sin. But when you start backstabbing and doing this and saying that and all that stuff,
Yes,
like that, that's when it
sir.
becomes a problem.
That's right.
The disciples didn't necessarily always didn't agree with Jesus. And Jesus surely didn't always agree with his disciples. And then the last thing, and Tommy told Brother Brian this last night, saturate your heart with the Word of God and have personal fellowship with God about your situation. I talked about this morning in the rest home, if you could redo your life all over again. If you could redo it all over again, what would you do? I think the first thing we would do is we would be more and having a more fulfillment with God in our life. Number 2, being dedicated to God. Where's Savannah at? Can you stand up there for me? I want you to be my illustration person. Just stand up on the thing. It's okay, you're not going to get in trouble, I promise. Do you know that it is a lot easier for us Christians to do this?
Yeah.
Pull somebody down.
Amen, brother. That's good.
It's a whole lot easier to jump somebody down than to pick them up. We all guilty of it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Once you don't get settled down here with your brothers and sisters in Christ,
Yes,
before
sir.
you ever enter them gates, brother, you're going to get settled. We got 1,000-year millennial reign, so we got all the time in the world, in God's opinion.
Right.
That's why we don't have no communication. Amen. God bless you.